We are back, baby. Let's go. Happy to be back. I am happy to be back. I feel like I haven't talked about my real estate endeavors in a bit. However, I am so excited to catch you guys up with everything that's going on. This episode is all about how I bought an Airstream for $11,000, renovated it, put it back up. Ooh, I don't like when it says renovated it. I put it up in the Grand Canyon, 25 minutes in Valley, Arizona. My P's sound very weird when I hope that doesn't come out in the edit, but screw it. I put it up in Arizona, and we are up and running, baby. We are having bookings by that minute. I'm getting notifications every other second. I woke up today with a week-long reservation in November. So that's where we're at. However, we are jumping too far. That is next video is talking about my first listing. This video is all about how I bought the Airstream, how I renovated it, how I put it up in Arizona, and how I got the deck built and took photos. So without further ado, this is how I bought an Airstream for $11,000 and got my first listing done. So, little precursor in case you didn't watch the first video about how I bought land in Arizona. Watch that. Hey, do it to support your boy. Do it to support your boy. I need support. Babe. I basically bought land in Arizona, about 2 acres, right in Valley, Arizona, which is about 25 minutes north of Williams, 25 minutes south of the south rim of the Grand Canyon. Perfect location. Sunsets for days. I mean, literally the longest sunsets I think I've ever seen in my entire life are in Valley, Arizona. And that's a challenge. If you got longer sunsets, comment below. And I don't want to hear like Alaska in the springtime because the sun doesn't set and we always have sunsets. No, hey, most gorgeous sunsets you'll ever see from dusk till dawn. That's not right. From the time it's like, I think it's right now the sun's setting at like 7 o'clock there. So about like 6 o'clock to like 8:30. God, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the vibes are immaculate. The wine is flowing. The bonfires are firing. It's everything you would want in a location, in the location. So there you go. Back to the story. So I bought land, blah, 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 blah. We're all caught up. If you haven't seen that video, watch that video. But this is all about how I bought an Airstream. So from step one, the original idea was to do a drop structured unit. And when I bought it, I put 50% down. And the build, they were like, we're behind. We're actually a 3 to 4 month time period, like away from even starting your build. Once we start the build, it's about 3 to 4 weeks, but we're like still months away. So I was like, well, that's too long. I need to start cash flowing. Cash flow, baby. Hey, cash flow. And the whole idea of flow is that it's coming in. And so without money coming in, I was in a predicament. Didn't want to wait 3 weeks. When I'm like doing something, I just do it. Like when I start something, I just need to go all in and like go bankrupt doing it, and hopefully it's successful. Just so not financial advice. That's hilarious. Hey, you know what? Just go broke. Bankruptcy's jail. No, it's not. But yeah, I was like 3 to 4 months is way too long. So let's get this ball moving. So I was like, what if I just did an Airstream? You know what I mean? What if? And so I started researching Airstream for sale and stumbled upon this website called Airstream Forum, where people just list Airstreams. Is that Bronx just making noises in the back? Look at the kid, dude. He's honestly might be the greatest human being ever. And yes, he's a human being because he's the kid. And the kids are just becoming boys today. All right, so I went on Airstream Forum and absolutely like fell in love with that website. It was sick. So I just started messaging people. I was like, hey, I want to buy your Airstream. I need it in 2 days. I need it ASAP. And everyone was like, yeah, it was like listed for 15 or for like 20,000, for 25,000, 50,000. Cheapest one I found was like 14,000, but it needed like tons of work. And then I saw one for 20,000 that was pretty good condition, but still needed some work. And then my boy Steve. And then I stumbled upon my boy Steve. Stevie boy goes, hey, so here's the deal. It's listed for 18,000. I just left. Actually, story gets juicier. It was my boy Steve's Airstream. Bronx, what's up, dude? I know. Hey, Bronx wants to be part of the video. So, back to the story. It all started with my boy Steve. My boy Steve listed the property for my boy Ed. All the way around. My boy Ed listed the property for my boy Steve. Steve is the guy who owns the Airstream. Steve and Ed both lived... Hey, buddy. Steve and Ed both lived in St. Louis. However, Steve, my boy who owns the Airstream, got a new job in Virginia, and so had to move to Virginia and leave the Airstream in St. Louis. Got in kind of a pinch and basically picked up his whole family and moved to Virginia. So now we're just dealing with an Airstream that's in St. Louis. He can't afford to renovate it or put time into it because he doesn't even live in the state. Hey, when you don't live in the state, you can't do renos. Unless you pay for it. But long story short, he was like, I can't do these renos. I need to sell this thing. So he doesn't know how the internet works. And so, bless Ed's heart, salt of earth, man, dude. Like, that guy is just an A-okay guy. Something real special about Steve. So, Steve hit up his brother-in-law, Ed. Ed put it on Airstream forums, where that's when your boy starts chatting with Ed. Ed's like, look, I'm in St. Louis. Steve's in Virginia. I can sell you this Airstream, but he needs to get rid of it as soon as possible. And I was like, done deal. Hey, done and done. So then I was like, you know what? My boy, I need you to FaceTime. And here's who I am. And as a Jewish son to my Jewish mother, we're skeptical when it comes about money. And so I was nervous because I've been scammed before that this was going to be a scam. And so I was like, I need you, Ed, to go to where the Airstream is and FaceTime me, just to make sure this thing's a real thing. And he was like, done deal. This right now is the recording. I FaceTime recorded this. And to avoid putting my boy Ed's business out there, hey, not going to show you his face, but you'll see my face. And so this is a screen recording of him showing me the beautiful Airstream that I was going to buy. So this is him kind of walking around, showing the interior, showing the exterior. He showed me the table. I was like, dude, sound system, refrigerator, good condition, little microwave action, little bath or bedroom vibes, everything I wanted and more. And so I was like, look, I know nothing about Airstreams, so I didn't know what to ask. And now I would have asked other questions, but I just went off of visuals. I was like, I can do the rest of this. I just need to get it. I just need it to be in my possession. So then I hit up my boy Steve again. And I was like, look, Steve, you and I need to iron out these details because I'm in California, you're in Virginia, things in St. Louis. We're all over the map, dude. And here's the honest truth, is that I went up to my boy Steve and I said, Steve, you need to get rid of this. I need an Airstream. Let's make a deal here. So then he was like, dude, it's at 18. I can give it to you for 15 if you get it soon. And I was like, look, you need this thing done. You need it renovated. All you've ever wanted to do is spend a night in this Airstream, a renovated Airstream with you and your wife. And he said, yes, that's all I've ever wanted. And I said, Steve, I know you, man. I know you. Salt of the earth, I know you. So then I go, Steve, let me tell you this. Let me get it fixed up for you in a month. Let me comp a trip with you and your wife in the Airstream next to the Grand Canyon. And so I was like, look, Steve, you give it to me for 11,000. You give it to me for 11,000 and I will send you the listing immediately when it goes live and you choose a date and it's yours. Stay there as long as you want with you and your wife and you get to enjoy a fully renovated Airstream that since it's been your dream to stay in it. And Steve goes, absolutely. And that's called negotiating. I'm a negotiating wizard. So basically, I got this Airstream that was listed for $18,000 to $11,000 with the promise that I will give Steve, my boy Steve, a free Airbnb stay for him and his wife. And that is called negotiating. It's called negotiating. That was a good intermission. All right. So, negotiate with Steve. So then I call my boy Ed back. And I was like, Ed, me and Steve came to an arrangement. I need this bad boy ASAP. And he was like, good. You figure out how to get it to California? It's yours. So then I was like, step 1 done. Negotiate. Step 2 was trying to figure out how to get it from St. Louis to California. Another hurdle. However, your boy's problem solver. That's what I do. I solve problems. And look, I haven't had a good path when it comes to shipping companies. I actually hate shipping companies. The industry that needs to be solved is shipping companies. Because I'll tell you what, scammers. You're a scammer? Get into shipping. I was moving from New York to LA. Quick story time. Moving to LA to New York, or New York to LA. And the shipping company dropped off all of the wrong people's stuff to my house. Yeah, I'm not one to like be upset about materialistic objects. And I've like really worked on that in my life. But like I like custom poker chips from my grandfather or my late grandfather. And then like from my grandmother, she gifted them to my grandfather. And that like sucked to lose. And then I like vintage records. My dad's vintage records that he was playing on. I'm not getting choked up here. This is not a sad YouTube video. Hey, back to happy times. Yeah, so I was already worried about transportation. But then I found my boy Brad. My boy Brad at Clover Transportations. Hey, take notes. My boy Brad at Clover Transportations hooked me up. My boy Brad goes, look, typically gas, and this is when gas prices were like $9. And he was like, look, typically this would cost like $2,500 to $3,000. But I have to do it for like $5,000. And I was like, $5,000 shipping it from St. Louis to California? That's insane. And I was like, okay, so then let me try to rent a truck. So then I went to Enterprise Trucks, which is like you have to get an F-150 because you're towing like 8,000 pounds. And so you can't just like tow it with a Jeep. You're like towing a thick boy, dude. When you tow, you're towing a thick boy. You're not towing a little like pod. You're towing a thick boy. And so I hit up my boy Steve and I said, Steve, I can't rent any trucks because Enterprise is sold out, budget sold out. There are no trucks in St. Louis. I was going to fly to St. Louis, drive from St. Louis to California. The other option was drive from California to St. Louis back to California. Both those options sucked. Hey, not a road trip guy. Both of those options were like, no shot. So then I was like, all right, I need to figure out how to get this. And I call my boy Brad up and I go, Brad, here's the deal. I need you to do it for $3,000. And that's plain and simple. I need it done for $3,000. And Brad goes, let me make a call. Makes a call. Founds this. And this is the part of the shipping process that I don't like, is that when you hire a shipping company, they just outsource. They just find other people to do shit. It's like the definition of delegation, because that's what shipping companies do. They make you sign a contract, and then they reach out to other people to drive your shit for you. So my boy Brad hit up this woman named Zoya. And Zoya was like, I got a guy. I think his name's Vic. He can drive it. He's already in that area. He'll pick it up, drive it over. So I was like, bet. $3,000, wired him the cash. Wired him the money. Hey, I wired him the money. And he picked it up and brought it over. And so let's talk about timelines. On March 12th is when I bought the Airstream from Ed and Steve. 5 days later, March 17th, Vic shows up with the thick boy. So it's 7 in the morning and I just got a call saying that my Airstream is here. And I'm walking down the driveway to check it out. Let's see if it is here. And look at this bad boy. Let's go. Let's go. This thing is sick. What's up, man? How you doing? Dude, this thing's badass, brother. How you doing, bro? This guy drove up the hill a little bit. It's fine. Hey, what do you think, bros? What do you think, buddy? 7 in the morning. I get a call from the girl who runs a transportation company.
he says, this is your wake-up call. Your driver slept all day yesterday and decided to drive all night from New Mexico and basically made it here at 7 in the morning. And we officially have an Airstream, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, this thing's a beast. 29 footer. We're trying to figure out how he's gonna get this in this little dirt path right here. And this driver's a beast, so he's gonna be able to figure it out. But that dirt path has to be able to fit this Airstream, so I'm exhausted. Bryce, what do we think? What do we think? What do we think? Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy. A little water, wake myself up. Ladies and gentlemen, start your day. Just a little hose water to the face. Woo! Let's go.
Vic ended up pulling it up. It took about like an hour to pull it into this spot. But once it got there, dude, El Thicky Thick, the thickiest man of himself, the thickster, showed up to my house, looking all thick and stuff.
My boy Vic with the mirrors. Look at this. Keep going, keep going. We can unhook this bad boy and get this thing going. Vic, you were the man, brother. Let's go, Vic. Give me some. Let's go. So we are in business. Look at this bad boy. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so this is when Old Thicky Thick gets to the house. And so my first process in all of this was to scope it out. I basically walked the whole thing like 15 times, brought up my phone, was taking notes of like, this is what I want to do. I just literally started making an Amazon list. Yeah, so I mean, that took like probably like 2 or 3 days to like really plan out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do a bed in the back, a California king in the back, and then the front part turns into a king size bed. So step number 1 was basically taking everything out, taking shelvings out, taking that nice table out. I took out the refrigerator, I took out the microwave, I took out the stove, everything that could come out, I took out so that I could paint this thing. So next step after that was basically I wrapped everything. I wrapped the floors, I wrapped everything. This is the kid looking like the absolute boy. Kid, hey, no one cooler than the kid. And so this is actually something I wanted to talk about, was that little back deck part. What took me forever to kind of do. I wanted to turn that back, since it was 2 twin beds. I wanted to turn to a California king. Measured it out, realized I could do a California king back there. So then I went to Home Depot, bought a plank of wood to cut in the shape of the back, but there were still holes. So then I had to basically like plexiglass, not plexiglass, but like, what is the word? You mix it and it like hardens. Whatever. Hardening stuff. Hardening things that go on the edge to fill cracks. That's what I did. Caulking. It's not caulking, but could be caulking. Put it on the edge of the cracks, basically filled in and made a foundation. And I was like, this is where I want. This was like probably the biggest reno part that I had to do, because it was 2 twin beds originally with a hallway, and I didn't like that. So I knew I needed to kind of build out this framing. And your boy doesn't have any pre-knowledge in this. So yeah, I made it up as I went. So the next step after that was to paint this bad boy. I painted everything white because minimalism, obviously. Painted everything white and painted the back. Obviously, the back little bed frame part was done. Didn't do the bathroom yet. I don't know why. Painted all the shelves, trying to do this for the least amount of money. And so I hit up my boy, Luis. Shout out my boy, Luis. Luis is my parents' handyman. And I was like, Luis, man, I need some countertops, but I need them cheap. And so he was like, my boy, I got you. He hooked me up with his boy, Sergio. Sergio is the tile guy in LA. Cheap tile, good quality. So basically, I got all of this tile done for $1,500. Yeah, that tile, cut, installed, everything for $1,500. Shout out my boy Sergio. Next step was to do the pillowcases or to do the couch cushions. Hashtag don't pay for upholstery. I bought faux leather cushions and did it myself. A little wood on the back, staple gun, called it a day. So I got the Airstream on March 17th. On April 24th, 38 days later, the renovations were done. My boy Chris, who you saw in the last video, my boy Chris and his wife Lauren, honestly, dopest people out. All right, so Chris just got here to move the Airstream. It's like 95% done. And there he is. Look at him. Let's go. Also, guess what? Coolest couple ever. Lauren has dyed blue hair and is pregnant, and so she's a badass. But yeah, they were in Santa Barbara. They were driving back to Arizona, and they were like, "We'll pick it up on the way." And God bless them, because trying to pay or drive that out myself would have been a nightmare. Because hey, don't know how to drive thick boys. It's gonna work.
Oh, it's gonna work.
It's getting shipped off, dude. It was so much fun while it lasted. Hopefully that even got. So 3 days later, on April 27th, I arrived in Arizona to finalize the Airstream, build a deck, and get this listing up and running. To finalize the Airstream, I basically needed to get it into position. I needed to finish the bathroom. I needed to decorate the place, get all the QR codes and everything set up, and take photos. So I just stopped at the gas station, but we are on our way to. We are on our way to Valley, Arizona. The Airstream is already there. So first step was to build the deck, because we had to get the foundation of the deck set where we wanted to get it built, and then pull the Airstream up to the foundation. So first step was to run to Home Depot, spent some money on some wood, because hey, lumber, fix your prices right now, huh? You're too expensive. Hey, lumber, figure it out. So went to Home Depot, picked up a bunch of wood. All right, Home Depot round one complete. We got the wood. What do you think, Chris?
Seen more wood in my day.
Yeah. The closest Home Depot from Valley is in Flagstaff, which is an hour drive. The drive is actually super, super pretty, and I did it like 15 times while I was there. However, hey, Home Depot, build a closer location to my Airbnb. So last thing I wanted to talk about was how long this took from start to finish. From start to finish, it took me a little, like 4 or 5 days, under 2 months, which honestly I am so happy about. From the time of buying the Airstream to have an up and running listing, took me under 2 months. I think it was something like 55 days or 56 days, depending who's counting. But yeah, so I'm super excited about this whole process. I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. I am honestly beyond grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for Ed and Steve. I'm grateful for Brad. I'm grateful for obviously Chris helping me set this bad boy up and helping me with the deck. Grateful for Kentucky, who is kind of like my cleaner slash handyman out there. Boots on the ground. Guy's a legend. Yeah, I mean, this was such a team. I'm grateful for my parents for letting me do the renos at their house, which was so amazing. Just grateful for Bronx, because I mean, Bronx is literally like my therapist. He's like my emotional support being. Yeah. And so this is, I mean, the words, I mean, the phrase "it takes a village to grow something," and grow this is definitely a child of mine. And this is definitely like such a amazing experience, being my first actual Airbnb unit, my first live listing. It was amazing to have such a great and supportive team around me, and being able to do this as the first one and have this kind of be a part of the journey is pretty incredible. And I'm thankful for everyone along the way. So, and I'm thankful for you guys watching this video, because I don't know, document this for myself, my kids, and future kids. And yeah. And without further ado, here is the stargazing Airstream in the Grand Canyon. Hope you enjoy.